Okay, welcome back, guys. My name is Ajay, and today we are going to talk about what is the dictionary in Python. Okay, a lot of you have emailed me that they don't understand the difference between list and the dictionary, or if they understand, they don't know how to actually use the dictionary in real life. How do you decide whether to use the list or the dictionary? Well, if you are new to the channel, we have got here 18 videos, very long videos, as you can see, 16 minutes, 31 minutes, 1 hour videos. So you'll find here all the videos in a sequence. Right now we are going to upload a lecture number 19. 18 lectures are already uploaded, and anyone who doesn't know Python, he can start from here. Okay, now so we have covered the list in this uh, the playlist called Python. You can go back and see. I will not talk about that. We will today actually start with the dictionary. So I'll clear all your confusion that for example, what is a dictionary? First of all, right? What is a dictionary and how do you define the dictionary? And why do we need the dictionary? Why do we need the dictionary? Right? So this is also very important. And then how do you access the dictionary elements? How do you access the dictionary elements, which means that how do you access the values inside the dictionary? This is something very important, right? And then how you can write, how you can write actually dictionary in dictionary. This is also quite possible, right? And how do you actually add the list in dictionary? Now these are the topics which are basic topics and advanced topics, so we will take a deep dive into all this. Okay, if you do not know anything about Python, then I suggest you first go and check those videos. So we are going to use the PyCharm, which I'm using from now almost I think from the lecture number 10 we have started using the PyCharm. Okay, if you have any other idle, it's okay, there's no problem, right? So the first thing is that let me just go and create here a code, and I'll share this code also with you. You can check the comment section. Okay. So first I go and create a Python simple file, and this is for my dictionary, and this is for my YouTube students. Okay. All right. Let's just go and press enter. Now you see we are going to talk about here the dictionary. Now first of all, see that in the list, if you go and write the list, you remember that if I have to write anything in the list, what we do, we go and use the scale brackets, right? And inside those scale brackets, I can write whatever I want. For example, A comma B comma and C, right? So this way we can actually have a list created, right? Now if I have to, let's say, get this the list, for example, I want a list, any number, any index. For example, we want B. Then in the list, this is the 0 index and this is the first index. So you go and write here in the scale brackets 1, right? And if I go and now try to run this, this should actually be able to print me this B. Okay, so can we go and just run this? So if I run this, you see that we have got here the output B. So in this process, the one is very important thing, which tells you about the index, right? It starts with 0. So when you talk about the list, how you access the elements, how you access the values, you basically access the values by the indexes. Okay, but in the dictionary, this is not how it is. All right, let me now comment this. So in the dictionary, first of all, let's go and write here. Let's say I want to write here some library. So I go and create a dictionary. When you create the dictionary, you have to go and write the curly brackets. This is the first difference between a list and a dictionary. Dictionary uses the curly brackets, right? Now, for example, you want to create a library, and in the library you want to add subjects, right? Now, which subject I want? Let's say I want to add Excel, and I want to add, let's say, VBA, and I want to add, let's say, BI, and I want to add maybe M code, for example. These are the topics which I also teach. Now the thing is, if you go and try to now print this, right? If you try to print this dictionary called library, see what will happen. Let me run this, Control Shift F10. That is a shortcut key, right? Now you see that the moment I have run this, this is what exactly now is going to happen. Excel, BI, VBA, and M code. Now this is understood. We have printed the dictionary. Now what if I want VBA, for example? Then what will you do? Now, if you go and say that, okay, I will use now here the one, which is the index, believing that Excel is my zero index, if this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, isn't it? Now, if you try to run this again, Control Shift F10, then you see that dictionary will not allow you to do this. You can't access the dictionary values by the index. This is the problem now. Okay, so in the dictionary, how you can actually access, right? We access the dictionary values, we access the values inside the dictionary by using the keys, right? By using the keys, which are actually unique. Then you can't create the same key again and again. Now, what is exactly the key, right? So let me just go and comment this also. Now you see that in this entire dictionary, I have not created any key. How do you create the key? To create the key, you have a specific pattern. For example, now I have these subjects, right? Now all these subjects I cannot access till the time all of these subjects will not have their unique key assigned, right? So let's say I go and give this Excel as something called, let's say I give it a key called A, right? And then you got to press colon. Colon is very important. So this means that A actually is my key assigned to value called Excel. This is your value in dictionary and this is called a key, something which comes before the colon. Same way, let's say I go and write here B and I say that B colon, and same way then comma and I write C and then I say colon. Okay, this is how it is. And the last one is that, let's say D. I know D does not make any sense, A does not make any sense right now, but we are just trying to understand this. Now if instead of writing the one, if I go and say that I want this, the key called the B, right? B actually is your key, remember that. Now B is your key in dictionary because it is actually coming before the colon sign, right? So this is my first key, right? And this is my second keys separated by comma, and this is my third key, and then this is my fourth key. So every time what happens when you write, this is basically the kind of the format you follow. So dictionary starts with curly brackets and there you write here the key 1 and then colon and then value 1, right? Of course in the double quotes, and then you press comma and then you go and write key 2, okay? And then after the key 2 again colon and then value 2. In this way again you press comma and then you write key 3, whatever the key you have to create, and then value 3. You can't create the same key if it is already created, okay? Remember that. Now once this is done, and now if we try to run this, then we should be able to see VBA, because I'm seeing that in my library dictionary I have a key called B and that's what I want, the value. By default it should be able to pick you the value, okay? So let's say Control Shift F10, and the moment I do that, now I am not able to get the value. So let's go and, okay, I got the point. I forgot to actually put the double quotes. I'm sorry for that, because it says invalid syntax, so it immediately struck in my mind. So you must go and put these double quotes. Okay, now let's go and run the code, Control Shift F10, and now we will go and see what is happening. And there is one mistake, I'm so sorry. We should go and put the double quotes here as well. There was no double quotes. Control Shift F10, and now let's go and see that we are able to do this or not. Okay, there we go. Finally we are able to get VBA. So it is okay. I mean, if you're getting the errors, you're also, because you may also as a beginner tend to do these type of mistakes. So make sure you have all the double quotes. I was telling you this thing, right? So now you understood the big difference between dictionary and the my list, is that to access the values inside the dictionary, we use their key. While in the case of the your list, we actually go and use the index, right? If in your interview they ask you this question, the difference, and you tell them that, okay, this is enclosed by square brackets and dictionary is, using the curly brackets, well, I don't think so you will be selected. This is this is just a very basic thing, right? That's not basically something important. This is not something your interviewer would like to listen from you. Of course you can tell this, but then the main important thing is you have to tell that how they can be accessed, okay? So this thing is, I hope that this is making a sense to you. Now the thing is that, so when we create the dictionaries, okay, now for example I said that I create here the again the same, the key over here, and I try to run this program, look at this now. I'm able to get the VBA. Now the thing is that what happens if I go and create here the key called A, for example, like this, right? Now I go and run this. Okay, so when you run this, you see that you are able to fetch the M code, right? But what if I need the Excel, because this is also using the same key, right? So this is where actually the confusion lies. So that's why we say that when you go and create a dictionary, make sure that you have the unique keys, okay, so that there should be no confusion, right? Now this is fine, this is a very basic part of a dictionary, right? Now let's say I give you one task. For example, what you have to do using this dictionary, the idea you have got, what if we want to create, or maybe you have a data in Excel, or anywhere, and they basically the data has a different types of the skills you need, and for those skills you have actually the languages or the tools you require. So we want to actually create a dictionary where we have below skills, right, and the below category I should write, okay, categories and the skills required. Okay, what are those skills required? So what I mean to say is that, for example, you want to create something where you have analysis, right? So you have a here analysis, analytics, right? Now in the analytics, you want that you should have Excel there, because you can do a good analysis in Excel, right? And then you have, let's say, BI, and then you have a VBA also. Okay, this is what you need. And then for example, for data storage, right, for data storage you want to create the skill sets which your student should know, your employee should know: SQL Server, Oracle, and the one which I teach is Access. Okay, in this way. And then there is one more. For example, if we want for the data cleaning, okay, so we have a task to clean the data also. Now for that they say that you should know the Power Query. Okay, you should know the Power Query, and then let's say you should know the M code as well. Okay, now these all things are supposed to go inside the dictionary, and how you're going to do that, right? Now you see, so let me just first of all comment everything. Now this can be a library, this can be anything, right? This can be a requirement also, yeah, or maybe you have a IGP, internal job posting. So this is something you want to go and paste, right? So let's say that how we can create. Now one thing, that we have to create first of all a dictionary, and so the curly bracket starts, right? Now you see, pay attention here. Now in the analytics, if I try to give the analytics, for example this analytics, if I try to create a key for this is going to be very useful now, right? So I go and create the analytics as a key, and inside that I like to go and create the Excel, and then I like to go create here the BI, like this, and then I like to go and create here the VBA, right? So far we just manage with this one dictionary, one key in the dictionary, right? Now if I try to print here the IGP finally to see that if this is working or not, let's go and actually hit on the Control Shift F10. Okay, now when you hit on the Control Shift F10, you see that this basically is telling you the invalid syntax, and this is the line which is telling you the error. Now I'll tell you one thing: when you create the dictionary, there is a rule. In one key you can have only one value, but here we are having three values. But at the same time, the thing is that now I cannot go in the list here. Can you go and use the list here? Because if you go and create the list, then what happens? How will you create the list? First of all, just see this. Let's say I go and say this is my list, right? Now in the list, everything will go separately. So your analytics, this analytics, this word will come here, and then afterwards you will have Excel, and then afterwards you have BI, then you have VBA, and then you have data storage. Now the thing is that if I'm not able to actually create a separate key, then based on the key I cannot fetch the list of the courses, the skills which I need, because in the list these all are going to be considered different from each other, right? So this is the point. So how I'm actually supposed to do this now? So that's what I'm saying. If you have this type of a data, then you should go and think about using the dictionary, right? Because in dictionary I can just go and give one category which is a key, and inside that I can create these different values, right? Now the point is, as you saw, as a rule, the problem is in this dictionary I cannot have multiple values under one key, right? So what we do is, now pay attention here, we will go and create another dictionary under this key, and this is something which is very possible. So you put here the curly brackets and you put here the curly bracket. The main curly brackets, this one, open and the close, these remains as it is. So when you are going to do something like this, then what happens, this, because you have created this a separate dictionary, so this dictionary will be assigned to this key which actually is a part of this IGP dictionary, right? So in this way, now if I try to run this, if I try to print this IGP, I should be able to actually print this. Okay, this is the first thing. Now I'm getting here an error. Let me see that. Oh well, I forgot the double quotes again. There is so much going on here. So let's click on this run again, and now you see that I'm able to actually print out this. This is called a dictionary, in which I have a key called analytics, because you have a colon here, and we have the list here. So now I'm not only able to print the IGP, but what if, let's say you want here the list, let's say you want here the BI. Now to get the BI, basically you have to get inside the IGP dictionary, and you have to pick the key. The key is called the analytics. You got the point? So you go and write here this way, and you start here analytics, right? This is how it is. So now if I go and say Control Shift F10, I should be able to see my entire list, as you can see here, Excel, VB and BI. Okay, this is very important. Now what I'm going to tell you, pay attention here. First of all, this is fine that I'm able to see the dictionary which has 3 values, but I always wanted the VBA. I want to actually extract the VBA. Now because this is a dictionary, so you can't actually go and extract the VBA directly from this, right? So what if I convert this dictionary into a list now? Because if this is going to be a list, then what happens, I can just say that from the list, my first index, I want to extract it, isn't it? So you can do this in 2 steps also. You can create here some list, let's say you create this list, and then you first of all say that use the list function, and then you say that I want this IGP, and then inside the IGP whatever you have, this analytics, you want this to be a list, this way. So when you do this, then what happens, if you try to print this the list, finally you see that I have the list coming out from this. Look at this now. This is a list now. Now, if it is a list, then if I want, let's say in this VBA, so VBA stands on the position number first. So we can simply say 0 index, and now if I try to run this again, I should be able to see VBA. Look at this, guys. Fantastic, right? Now this entire process we can do in 1 step also once you have a practice. So what you go actually do is, instead of doing all these steps, you go here in this print IGP. Now this IGP analytics, it will print you the entire dictionary. So what you do is you simply go here and you say that this has to be a list. So use the list function first of all, like this, and close this, right? Now once you use the list, so this entire thing will be converted into a list, and then after this put the scale brackets and say that I want here the first index of that. That's it, right? So this way you will be able to now actually go and create this. And before you do that, make sure that you use the right scale brackets, and I think this is where the list actually starts. So I go and write here 0. Okay, now go and press enter, Control Shift F10. I should be able to see the first part. Now you see that I got here the first part, which is called Excel, right? Now based on this my list, I am able to actually extract the value called Excel, because Excel stands on 0 index. If I go and say 1, then this is going to give me the BI. Control Shift F10, and if I say 2, then Control Shift F10, this is going to give me the VBA. Okay, now I hope that this is clear to you. So through this session now, through this training now, anytime you have this capability that you can go and convert a dictionary into list also. And why do you need to convert? Well, if you want to access something which is inside the any of the keys of the dictionary which has multiple values, in that case you can do that. Had it been a single value, then I really don't need that. You got the point? For example, if this is analytics, right, I just go and copy this and I go and press enter here just to give you the understanding, and I say that this is analytics 2, and here what I'm doing, I'm only keeping, let's say something maybe EX, or maybe let's say I keep here Google Sheets. Okay, now if I keep the Google Sheet here and I go and delete all these things, now you see, now this is a dictionary where actually we have, under the analytics 2 key, we have only one value, right? Only one value is there, isn't it? Now if you have only just one value, and I just go and close this also, the curly brackets. Now what if I want this Google Sheets from here, for example? So let me just go and comment this first of all. So first of all, you go and say that okay, your IGP is a dictionary, and inside that, you basically need the analytics and an analytics 2 key, right? So you go and write here the key analytics 2, right? So let me use the comma here first of all, because you're starting the another. Now here you have to understand one thing. If I run this will give me the error, right? Because you see, a lot of things are going on here. You got to understand. Now this actually key is using only one value, so you can't further go and create this as a dictionary, right? So I will go and simply remove all these curly brackets from here. Just for this case, remember that, right? If you try to create the curly brackets here and run the program, then you will get the error. Let me press Control Shift. Okay, now you can see that I have able to get the Google Sheets, right? So how we did that? We are actually here simply going and targeting the key, right? But in the above case, we were not able to do that because there are multiple values, right? So what we did in that case, we actually converted that into a list, because list has index property and we can use it, right? So now you see that the thing is that when you go and work with the list or the dictionary, you got to see that how your data is, right? Is your data required some sort of unique identification, so that you can create the key, and then inside that key you can have all the information, right? Or if your data is totally independent of each other, then you can definitely go and use the list also. So all the options are there, right? Now next time when we will meet, we will actually go and create a game where we actually give the option to our user that which coffee he wants, right? Espresso or cappuccino or latte, and so there all these things, dictionary or the list, will be used. So get ready for that. Okay, so thank you, and now next time when we will meet, we will make this coffee project as I said that. Thank you so much.